everybody, this is Elissa from Mank Arts and Crafts, and today I come to you with an update, a long overdue update on my temperature stitch along, cross stitch SAL, whatever you want to call it. But this is a year-long project, and as you can see, I am making amazing progress on it. I am actually fully up to date, but I was planning on filming this when I finished April, which is this row right here, and I kind of got carried away once I filled in all of the 310 down here, and I actually started working on May, so we're going to stop it right here because I wanted to showcase to April. Let me see if I can get that glare of that 310 off of there. I'm like, where is the glare coming from? Is it coming from that one? I don't have the overhead. Well, we're going to have a little bit of a glare on that one, and I will showcase it without the glare, but it's because the drills are so sparkly, and I don't have the overhead on, so. But anyways, we're going to look at it like this, and we will see what it looks like, because I don't want to, like, be distracted by this. I wanted to do the quarter of it, so we're going to look at it like this. But anyways, I have officially, that's 4 months, so we are a third of the way through our cross stitch conversion, stitch along, however you want to call it, and I am totally in love with this. Is this not amazing? Like, look at look at that coloring, but look at look at how fun this is. And the pattern is one that I got off of Etsy, and it is like these little spooky potion bottles, a spooky library, spooky potion bottles. They are the cutest thing ever. And I went ahead and I decided that the shelves needed 310 behind them. I thought that looked really good. Sorry, I had to get my chair so I could sit down so I could actually see what I'm doing. Well, I could see what I'm doing, but I didn't feel like leaning over the table. I have more likelihood of bumping the table when I'm leaning over it. But I'm like loving this. So I went with 310 for the background. No, that is a white drill. Okay. And I am loving the 310 as the backdrop for the bookshelves because it gives that shadowy, creepy bookshelf look and really makes all of these potion bottles like really stand out. And it's really cool seeing like the temperature gradient for this. I'm also up to date on my, I finally started just like a couple days, like literally like 2 or 3 days ago, I started working on my other temperature SAL that I'm doing, which is the low daily temperature. So this one is the highs. The other one that I'm doing is going to be lows, and that one is going much, much quicker. This one has taken me a lot of time. It's a lot more detailed, and it is taking significantly longer to do. It's also significantly larger than the other one, but that one is taking me much, much quicker, and that one is the dragon, the temperature dragon. I think it's the same one that Katie over at Diamonds and Washi is doing, but this is kind of like, as a review, let me go actually unbury my drills. If it gives a perspective, these are the drills for my temperature dragon that I'm using, and let me unbury the drills for this one, and these are the drills here, now that they are unburied, that I have been using for this one. And as you can see, they take up significantly more space for this cross stitch conversion project. So just as a review, you can see all of these drills. These were the ones that made up the border right here. So we had these drills for the outline in the border, and then starting right here with the 155 all the way through to the 5200. These ones are ones that are in the shelves. These are constant colors that are going to be as accent colors in the shelves. And then starting here through here are the colors that I'm using for the temperature, and they're in gradients of 4. So we've got our 50s are these blues right here. Hi Sush, hi Sush. Let me turn this on so we can see color of these drills. So we've got these blues, which are 50s, because I went with the cold colors. 60s are going to be a little bit of a brighter blue. I liked those shades of blues for the 60s. So these are going to be a little bit like more clear cut. I went with the 70s because I love the aquas and teals. So those are anything that's in the 70s. 80s are going to be my favorite colors, which are the greens. I love those greens. That's anything in the 80 degree family. And then because I wanted hots, but I didn't want reds, so anything in the 90s is going to be this set of purples here. So kind of like the first set of purple colors. Those are 90 degrees. And then we go into our next shade of purples, which is a slightly different shade of purples here. So these I haven't broken into yet because we have not quite broken into the hundreds. We've come close. So a slightly different color family of purples for those ones. And then that's the hundreds. And then when we get up into the 110s are kind of like our burgundy pinks. I have like extra drills. I've just been throwing the random trash drills in my tray as a contained system. So these are going to be the 110s and higher, so these pinks. So that's the review of the drills that I'm using in the color palette that I'm doing. So I'm going to put these back out of the way. And what I do is I'm doing, I think the weather underground is what I'm getting my daily highs from, and I've been writing it down on this little grid. So I'll write out and there's actually a method to my madness. So when I look on the when I'm looking in my Markup XP app, which is what I use the Markup let's see, what is it called? It's basically the Markup XP app, the one, not Pattern Keeper, but the other one, which is for Apple products. That's what I use, and I find it to be super user-friendly, easy to, works really well for me. I've kind of like, I know how to make it do what I want to, like how to use it and make it work exactly how I need it to do. But this is 3 pages wide. Ooh, excuse me, this is 3 pages wide. So like if we'll look at February. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and actually let's look at January, since I haven't really done a good update on this for that. So you can see how I have January has 31 days. So we have 1 through 11, 12 through 22, and then 23 to 31. So that means that the first 11 pill bottles or potion bottles are on the first page. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these 11 potion bottles are 1 page. So I put it to kind of keep track of what I'm doing, 1 through 11, and then I put the daily highs. And once I have done that color, potion bottle, I put like a little dot next to it on here to know that I've actually done it. So that's what you're seeing when you see this mess right there. There is a method to my madness. So you've got those little dots. And then same thing when I go through 12 to 22, and then the 23 to 31. February was a little bit different. You can see it was 1 through 8, 9 through 18, and then 19 to 29. Because these were a little bit wider on the first one. So it was the first 8 were on the first page. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we had our 9 through 18. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this was page 1. This was page 2, and then these ones were the last page or page 3. And some of them, like this one was a constant color, so because it was a constant color, it wasn't one that I actually had to do any actual, like, pick the color and line it up. So you have the same thing like with this one here. So you have those occasional accents like that stand out a little bit. And what's kind of interesting is you can see how January, if we look at our colors in January, we had 50, 60, and then we go back into the 50s, another 60, back into a couple 50s, and then we actually had a spell of these greens, which we were up into the 80s in January. We had a heat spell. We were in the 80s, and then we dropped back down to 60s, and then we had another day, a couple days into the 70s that you see over here, and then we had one day, this purple, we had one day that was up into the 90s in January, which is crazy. So we were up into the 90s in January. Mind-boggling, mind-blowing. So that's what you're seeing with that one, is that day up into the 90s. Mind-blowing. But that's that one there. And then as we look at February was much colder. So in February we're in the 50s, 60s, back into 50s, a little bit into the 60s, 60s, this one day up into the 70s, 60s, couple days here up into the 70s at the end of the month. That was our February. As we roll into March, we had 70s, 60s, and then we had one day this one that's really, really dark. That day was our one day in the 40s. And then we went from a 47 day up to a 72 day, which is like crazy that it jumped like that. So 50s, 60s, well, we were in the 70, 60s, 70, 60s, 47, 70, 60s. And then we kind of jump up into some of the 80s right through here. So there's some of our 80s down to 70, 80s, and then back down into some of the 60s, and then back into those 70s with a little bit of the 60s for the rest of the month. So that was where we were for March. April kind of picked up temperature-wise a little bit. We were 60s, 70s, 60s, a little bit back down into the 60s, 70s. We had a little spread of 70s. Here's like our 70s, and then up into some of the 80s with these greens, 70s, 80s, and then we had a couple days into the 90s, 80s, 70s, 80s. So you can see it was much warmer, and we're starting to pick up in temperature. And when we get down into May, you'll see that we definitely are heating up as we come down this temperature SAL. It's very interesting seeing that temperature change as we go. And then of course, you guys already saw me talk about the border. One of the things that I did add to this, like I said, was the 310. The 310 worked really well. I was using a good 310 for the background for the shelf here, and portion of the shelf on this row, but the top shelf was kind of just like a random, like really cheap 310, and then most of this shelf was a cheap 310. So there's spots where the drills are not the right size, and I need to actually go through, and there's the drills that kind of want to pop up a little bit. So as I run my finger over, like this area, I pulled a couple of those out. There's some of them that I need to pull up. I need to find them and say, okay, this is where they're wanting to pop up a little bit, and I need to pull those particular ones out. And because I think there are some of them that have tabs, because I don't pay attention when I'm placing the drills, especially when I'm doing big sections of color blocking. So I need to find those drills that are kind of sticking up like this, and pull them out and replace them with drills that are the nicer quality, like these ones here, which sit really well. And it's something that you can tell when you look at this very closely. So like if I were to bring us down a little bit and give us a closer look, you can see the quality of my lines up in here. Really crappy lines for the 310 up in like that first column. Like some of them don't even line up well. Same thing, the second row, a little bit better, but not the best. But you can see my 310 on that third column, perfect alignment, perfectly done, really, really well. And that's because the drills just were much easier to work with, not the greatest on the first two rows. And that's something that was like a me issue more so than anything. But overall, this is turning out beautiful, and it is looking amazing. I'm having a blast with this. This is super fun. And I'm kind of bummed that I'm like fully caught up now. I have like 1 or 2 days to place. I think I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm filming this on the 21st, and I've got 17 days placed. So I've got 18, 19, 20, 21. I have 4 days to place. 4 days to place for the month of May, and then I will be fully caught up and up to date. So I do have a little bit of placing to go on it. Not a lot, just a little bit to place, which would put me like right over here. A couple of them in, but not much to do on it. But seriously, I mean, this has been super fun to do. And as you can see, it's like, it looks really good. It looks really cool. And I actually had a friend give me a really good idea for the bottom. So if we come up, we're going to look at all of our white space for it. So we're going to slide this out of the way, and we're going to look at the white. So at the bottom, I have this excess section right through here. We're going to turn the overhead back off again so that we don't have that glare. But as you can see, this is the bottom of my border right here. This is the bottom of the border right there. And I have this whole section from here to here, which is essentially like a 30 drill section right here that's empty of this canvas. And I had a friend gave me a fantastic idea, and I think I'm gonna roll with it because I have that whole area that I could use. And I'm thinking what I'm gonna do with this whole area that you can see down here, like this whole section down here that I can place stuff. I'm thinking what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use this as a legend and basically have like this color, have like a little box with the 4 colors in it, and have like the color range like 50s, the next color 60s, next color 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, 110s. So that way it shows like the color range and have it like written out and like with drills, and then the background of course in black and everything. But that way you know basically the legend of what colors I used will be like written out down here, and then I can put like the year 2024 on here as well, in like write it out in drills, of course, spelling it out. So I think that would be my plan for this bottom section, and then I'll be utilizing the entirety of this canvas, and this portion of the canvas I won't have to cut it off and have it go to waste. So that is my goal for that, and I think that will be like a good idea. I think that'll look really nice, because, and it's a pretty decent sized canvas. I think this entire canvas is a 50 by 90 is what it is, but that's my goal for it. But anyways, that is essentially, that is what we have. That's our quarterly update of the Spooky Library Potion Bottle SAL Stitch Along, Cross Stitch Conversion Stitch Along. It is looking so good. I just have some of the black drills up here that I need to replace in those first two shelves. And other than that, it is like coming along fantastic. Like loving the look of it. Like it is a blast to work on. And I'm super excited to see it come together and finish. I'm like 4.5 months done on this. And we're getting there. It's looking amazing. Hey, finally making progress on it. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this update and this touch point to see where we're at. And we will come back to this again probably in a couple more months. We'll see. It's not, I don't find it necessarily like something necessarily to do on a monthly basis, because you'll get like one shelf. But I will definitely give you guys updates every few months so you guys can see the progress on this cross stitch conversion and how awesome it looks, with a little bit more detail than with my post review where I just say, hey, this is what I've done on it, and kind of go from there. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.